longtime Awakening Orchestra guitarist, Michael MacAllister. And we have a sort of special history as far as along making music together. But what are your memories of like the first time playing with the Awakening Orchestra?
I mean, I'll admit my memory is pretty foggy of that time.
Yeah.
It's getting close to being 20 years ago.
Nobody in the band has been playing my music longer than you have. So
On your, I guess it was your senior recital, right?
yep,
That's the
that is
origin.
true. Yeah.
I remember being like, okay, there's a lot of stuff going on here that that's like pretty challenging and this is cool. And maybe it's you've grown as a writer or I've devolved as a guitar player, but it always feels the same way every time.
Great.
Maybe I need to practice more those 18 years.
Yeah. All right. How do you approach playing in this orchestra over almost 20 years? Like, how is your approach to playing in this band evolved?
Since we started recording the band, I think it's definitely changed because there's actually a lot more that I hear now. Because it is like sitting in the middle of it all, it is a bit of a crazy experience, you know? It's like amazing. It's really cool to like, you know, have all this like sound around you. But sometimes it is like you don't get that perspective of an audience. I mean, my own approach, I don't think has really changed much. Maybe I got a little more bold. I started like figuring out what the aesthetic was and that you're usually cool with making lots of crazy sounds and that's totally fine.
Well, I think that's the thing is you've helped to define what the aesthetic is by the bold choices that you have made.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're definitely all about like writing to people's personalities and stuff. So,
do you have a favorite track?
Well, I think definitely my favorite track is The Descent, which is interesting also because if you think about it, it was the last thing we recorded. I knew even going into the session that was going to be my favorite. Some of the writing in it reminds me of like one of my favorite other parts of your writing, which is your sort of like band solo section in Alone Together, because it always reminds me of like The Yellow Shark by Frank Zappa. So The Descent to me is kind of like the dark, twisted version of that. And then it has a section at the end too that's kind of like the sort of epic. We have a lot of things that become like really, really, really intense at the end in like a very like aggressive way, and I feel like that gets really big at the end, but it has like the epic but kind of pretty also. And
I conceived of this record very much as a protest record. I'm wondering if that has any particular significance to you personally.
Well, I mean, I can't imagine what you possibly could have to protest about.
Right. Yeah,
but no, seriously, I mean, it's pretty fucked, and it really like sometimes keeps me up at night how fucking scary it is and could become more so. I felt in the past they seem like far-fetched things that happen in other countries where like culturally, like here in the United States, like that could never happen, you know. And it's now like I see that on the horizon, and it just like freaks me out. So I think this is the time to protest, and people are out in the streets protesting, which is amazing. Let's just hope that it works.
We've been doing this for so long, but I'm wondering if there's anything that you're curious about.
One thing I am curious about is we have a bunch of these long pieces now that I know have all this kind of motivic connection between the movements and things like that. It would actually be kind of interesting to always know exactly what to be on the lookout for. I mean, some of the music that we played for a long time, you start to hear the other people that have been playing in the band for a while starting to use those melodies, like even when they have solos and things like that.
Yeah, which is honestly one of the most gratifying things.
Yeah.
One of my things is leitmotif composition. All of the pieces I've written for this orchestra are connected with thematic material. So hearing the musicians like kind of adopting that motif vocabulary in the moment. I know you do so much other stuff.
Well, I've been releasing music recently with this band that I have called Almacora, and that's like a project that I have with my friend Wes. We actually started working together through like FaceTime and phone calls and things coast to coast, like even before that became the thing to do.
So you were remote composing.
We were remote. Yeah, it was cool.
Michael MacAllister mixed and mastered and edited the Atticus Live record and edited Volume 1 and Volume 2. He has been one of my personal biggest musical crutches, I think, since 2003. Awesome, man. It was so great to see you. I miss you, and I will talk to you soon, hopefully.
Sounds good. Bye.